So let's kick things off today with a discussion on preserving those prized recipes that our grandmothers and maybe even great-grandmothers used in the kitchen. In this week's Kiss the Cook, Renne Elfert talks to us about the life lessons that we can take from a simple recipe. So today we're talking about ways we can incorporate the past into our kitchens. And you know, most of us, we log on, we go to recipes.com and find, what we're going to cook that night. But this really is so special. This is decades, generations of cookbooks.
These are some of my most cherished items, and I too find myself getting on Pinterest and getting on the apps and whatnot, but I think we really need to realize the importance of jotting things down, of a handwritten recipe, just so that it creates so many memories. We have so many memories in the kitchen, and I was looking through these, and it just brings back so many memories. These are recipes. This is a little book that was from the 1930s. That was from one of my great-great-grandmothers, and it's so fun to look through and see through the generations the way the foods and the trends have changed. Back then, they did have all the rationings where they couldn't use all the sugar and eggs and butter and flour and all those type of things. So I've noticed in looking through her recipes, they did a lot of pickling and preserving. They could use fruits and vegetables and that type of thing. So it was very interesting, and I looked through here, and I was telling you earlier where I'd seen a recipe where they even made their some of their own medicines. There was a recipe in here for liniment, which was so interesting that they made up and shook up in a jar and said to rub on your ailments.
And there you go.
That's right. So that was really fun. And another thing that's fun to notice is the language, the way they wrote. They wrote, instead of milk, they called it sweet milk because they used a lot of buttermilk back in the earlier days. And so a recipe would call for sweet milk, which simply means regular milk, and then buttermilk. So that was kind of interesting.
Wow. They
called for mazola or oleo oil as opposed to butter.
Okay.
So it's fun to look through and just see the terminology that they use.
And as you said, when you see that there's food on there, it just connects you to your past.
It does. It shows they really did use these. They'll have little notes written down.
I love that you have these boxes from the 50s.
Yes, this is. This kind of, they used to have just the little boxes with it. Some of them they've got cards, some of them written, but the majority of them are just little handwritten notes that they've written, and they would tell who did it. This is a party pie, So
and that was made 400 times.
Yes, yes. So they just bring back such memories. They're so fun just to sit down and go through them.
And that brings us really to what we should be doing to prepare the next generation.
That's right.
Because we should be writing these down and collecting the things that we make so often.
That's exactly right. I just think it is so important. Use your cookbooks, get out, write in them. If you get splatters on them, that's great. That just brings back a lot of memories for your family. And nowadays you can still purchase these little recipe boxes. This is a really cute one I purchased. It came with the little cards and the little dividers of all the different sections you'd want to have. So try to make a habit of jotting down your favorite recipes and making little notes on them and things so that your children and grandchildren could get them out and look through them, and it brings back a lot of good memories.
I cherish that, and I know you do too. Renne, thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
So cool.
Thank you.